Let's get it.
Maestro, while you listen to them bass drop.
Got to start this podcast episode off right.
Taking a few shots, making me feel hot.
Got to make sure everybody feels good. Got to make sure the energy is up before we even begin. If you don't know this song, you should check it out. You should listen to it. This is Touching by Honey Baby.
Baby, yes, I know you don't belong to me, but when you come around, making my body speed. When you touching on me,
we gotta start the podcast off real right, man. You can't just be coming here lackluster. You gotta come in here swinging. You gotta come in here hard. You gotta come in here prepared. You gotta come in with good vibes, man. Good vibes all year, man. We ain't taking no bad energy anywhere. It's only positive energy, only positive vibes going in the universe right now. If this song don't make you feel good, you gotta reevaluate your life because something is going on. I might let the whole song rock. Looks like I care about YouTube's monetization rules.
While I sip on this, you slipping in. You gotta take your time with it. The feelings bliss. We only have one night, baby. One night, baby. Baby, yes, I know you don't belong to me, but when you come around, making my body speak.
I do want to welcome y'all to the Malik Scylore Podcast. I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. I want to appreciate everybody for clicking on that YouTube link. I want to appreciate everybody for clicking on the Apple Podcast link. If you're coming from my Instagram story, I appreciate y'all. If you're coming from anywhere, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that listens and watches. What you say? Come on. Yeah. I was gonna just play one song from our album. This song just get me though. It do something to me, so I'm gonna have to play two of them, man. We're gonna have to start this off right, man. I told you we're gonna have to start this thing off right. If you in the car, man, just vibe out. If you watching, just vibe out. If you listening, just vibe out. If you know where this sample came from, man, shout out to you. You really know your music.
Every other day is something, but that ain't surprising me. He's gonna come home to you, but he's coming right back to me. He's on all the time. He sleeps at mine when he's not with you.
Come on.
He putting in overtime.
If you need any music recommendations, just hit me up, man. Y'all lucky I ain't got no drops. There'll be drops all through this song, man. Get the vibe going. All right, man. All right. We're going to get this thing started. Off right. So I want to welcome y'all to episode 12 of the Malik Scylore Podcast. I am your host, Malik Scylore. That was Honey Baby. Both of those songs was Honey Baby. That was Touching and F&M2. I recently just started listening to her music, like very, very recently. When I say recently, I mean like 7 days ago. Like I've heard it before, but it takes me a while to just like really get into the song that I'm listening to. But I've heard that Touching song before. I think it had like Busta Rhymes on it. because he came on first, and I heard that song. I was like, okay. It was, it was a flip of, his track or whatever. So I was like, man, it's hard, but I just never doubled back to it. And I was just out listening to stuff, man. And this song came back on. I was like, man, this is a tough song. This is a tough track right here. So I delve into her catalog, which is not extensive. I mean, she has one album from 2023, and then the other little EP pack or whatever is just the remixes of the same song. So I started listening to her stuff. I was like, man, there's a couple songs I ain't really mess with, but most of them, like 95% of the songs, I mess with. Like, things is hard. I was like, okay, yeah, I've been sleeping. I don't really sleep too much. I already know there's some things I can sleep on. I don't really sleep too much. But I was sleeping on that. I was sleeping on Honey Baby. And it's spelled like Honey Baby, but the A in the baby is an X. So yeah, make sure I got that right. Yeah, the A in the baby is an X. So if you want to go check out her music, definitely go do that because it's hard, man. It actually brings me to a topic that I don't really have this topic down or anything. This is just on my mind, is that like music that women make be hard. Like, I know there's a stigma to like for men to listen to like men-made music or whatever, and women to listen to pretty much anything. They don't really have a standard on what women can listen to. I mean, if you riding down the street or whatever, and you're a woman and you like bumping Gucci Man, but you got this whole persona, something, and people might look at you a certain way, but it just brush off like, oh, she listening to trap music like that. Oh, okay, cool. But with men, if you riding down the street and you got Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift playing, which is a fire song, I don't want to hear nothing. It's a fire song. If you got Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift playing, they're going to look at you like, what's going on? And my thing is like, bro, if the song is good, if it's a good track, if it's good music, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all what I'm listening to or what you're listening to. Because if you like the music, listen to the fucking music. Like, there's no, like, every time I see, like, somebody riding down and just listening to music, or if you get in the car with your partners or whatever, and, one of y'all controlling the music, it always got to be some shit with some hard 808s. I'm just talking about our culture. It got to be some shit with some hard 808s, and it got to be some hard shit. It can't be no, bro, there's some fire-ass music. If I want to get into the car and listen to Party Next Door, I'm gonna do that. If I get in the car, I want to listen to Honey Baby full album back and forth, I'm gonna do that. If I want to get in the car, listen to Kehlani, I'm gonna do that. If I want to get in the car, listen to Taylor Swift, I'm gonna do that. I like the music. My music choices are my music choices. I like this shit. Like, if it's sounds good sonically to my ears, I know there's a lot of redundancies in that sentence, but if it sounds good, I'm gonna listen to it. Like, it's crazy to me. This just reminds me, like, when Frank Ocean came out or whatever, like, a lot of men stopped listening to his music. Nigga, why? You liked the song 10 minutes ago when the nigga was perceived as straight, but now when he go out and come out, now you don't want to listen to his track. Man, the nigga made fire music, he made fire music. If a woman makes fire music, she makes fire music, man. I don't get the purpose of that, bro. I listen to all that stuff, and my ears, I grew up with my mom's music taste. My dad, he was listening to like Pac and Outkast and stuff like that, but I was always usually in the car with my mother. So my music taste is shaped by that. Like, she always listened to Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Mariah Carey, Beyonce's soulful stuff, not really the too much like Crazy in Love and Upgrade and all that stuff. It was more along the lines of the track with like Luther and Me, Myself, and I, stuff like that. Lauryn Hill, India Arie, Lettucey, Marsha Ambrosius. Man, it's just, that was the neo soul really, but that was the bag that she was in, and that's what me and my siblings, that's what we were listening to. Like, that was our music taste because it was shaped by my parents. So as I got older, of course, like I listened to a lot of hip hop, I listened to a lot of R&B, I listened to a lot of alternative music. So of course I was listening to hip hop when I really started getting into music like myself, like nobody else was curating my music choices. Then hip hop started to be inside of my musical choices. But I also, like, when I first started listening to music for real, I was also listening to Kid Cudi a lot. Like, I listened to Cudi a lot, right? Back in the day, his newer stuff is a toss-up for me. Like, I got to pick the tracks out that I like, but it's a toss-up to me. But that's what I was listening to. Like, obviously, I was listening to Drake. We ain't going to talk about Drake this podcast, but I was listening to him. I was listening to Cole, Wayne, Ace Hood, just a bunch of different hip hop artists, but I still kept my neo soul bag. So when Party came out, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fire. The Weeknd came out, I was like, okay, yeah, we could do this. There was some more artists too, Frank Ocean, obviously, Kehlani, all these like R&B straddling on the side of hip hop and soul. That's really what my bag was. So my music taste now is just shaped from that. Like, I'll never not listen to a Chris Brown album. I'll never not listen to a Kehlani album. I'll never not listen to a Brent album. Like, that's like my taste. Like, if you ask me what my style of music is, I wouldn't really have an answer for you. I would just say pull up whatever streamer that I'm using. I use Apple Music. I would say pull up Apple Music and look at my replay for the month, or look at my replay from last year. And that's going to tell you what I listen to. Like, this is such a wide range of stuff. And I know I just named a bunch of like black hip hop artists or whatever, but I do have a wide range of music, but we're just strictly speaking on the culture right now, because that's a real problem. Like, oh, you riding around listening to a woman's music and you change, man, fuck that. Nigga, I'm gonna listen to what I want to. But anyway, speaking of music, man, Complex released a stupid ass list from the top 50 Atlanta rappers of all time. The top 50 Atlanta rappers of all time. Now, this list was horrible. And just to start off how horrible this list was, the number 50, I'm not going through the whole list, but number 50 was Lil Nas X. Okay, yeah, that's exactly. So I'm just going to go in the top 10 right now. And it's crazy to me, their list. And I feel like nobody on that Complex board or panel, whatever, was from Atlanta. Number 10 was Lil Baby. Number 9 was 2 Chainz. Number 8, Big Boy. Number 7, Ludacris. Number 6, Young Thug. Number 5, Jeezy. Number 4, Gucci. They know what they was doing right there. Number 3, Tip. Number 2, Future. And you already know who everybody gonna say number 1 is. And just speaking of, it's Andre 3000. All right, so that was your top 10, man. And I think that's a horrible list. I really do think that's a horrible list, because if you're talking about top 50 rappers from Atlanta of all time, you can't have recency bias. Lil Nas X being number 50 is recency bias, because he had a 3 or 4 hit songs, and he just so happened to be from Atlanta. But what my thing is, like, the influence of when this Atlanta hip hop culture first started popping off, like with the Dungeon Family, right? The Dungeon Family should be really grouped as one. The only group you could really take out and just have them by itself. I wouldn't be mad if they said Outkast was the number 1, right? Because they pioneered for this shit, influenced so many people. But they had Andre 3000 as number 1. Them niggas was rapping together. Sure, he broke out as the bigger artist of the group, but that group, Outkast, is what influenced so many others in this list. I don't think Future should be number 2 at all. There's so many influential Atlanta rappers that came before Future. Future should be top 5, most definitely. Most definitely, he's top 5 Atlanta. But he's not number 2. Lil Baby is not even number 10 of the top 10 rappers in Atlanta. He's not number 10. He'll be somewhere in the 20s for me, because even when he dropped in 2017, I want to say, I don't remember, but I know, the freestyle was like the Atlanta national anthem and all that stuff. But that was a time period, and then it was just he peaked, and then he started to decline. And if you don't think Lil Baby peaked, you crazy. He peaked already, and now he's just at a standstill or decline, if that. Right, so I really don't think he should be at number 10. My top 5, I'm just gonna give you my top 5 all time from Atlanta, all time. Right, so I'm gonna start with number 5. 5, I'm gonna have to say Tip, T.I. I'm gonna have to say Tip, right? And then number 4, I'm gonna have to go Future. Number 3, this is just for me. Number 3, I'm gonna go Thug. Number 2, I'm gonna go the whole Dungeon Family. And number 1, I'm gonna go Outkast. Right, and the reason I say Dungeon Family is number 2, because you wouldn't even have Future if there wasn't no Dungeon Family. So for putting him above everybody else, I mean, Killer Mike is down there, CeeLo's down there, like they're all lower down in there. But and Big Boy, he's down in there somewhere. Like that's crazy. And they have Playboi Carti as number 12, by the way. I just want to let you know that. They also have Playboi Carti as number 12. So, like, you can get the context of what they're trying to bring in, like who's popular and who's lasts the longest. That's it. There's no influence in there. There's none of that. And then they just seem like they were pandering when they put 3 Stacks as number 1 by himself. Like, that's pandering. But let me know what y'all think, man. It's these lists out here, they be crazy as hell anyways, because, I mean, it's just a bunch of people that's not in the culture, that has blogs about the culture, making lists about the culture. And, that's what they're here for. They get us to argue about this shit. So I want to switch gears a little bit, talk about some food. It's not really food. It's actually still in the tech space a little bit, but Chick-fil-A, yeah, they are making their own streaming platform. Just in case you thought we didn't have enough streaming platforms now, Chick-fil-A decides to make their own streaming platform. So what they did is they decided we're going to get into this space because they've already been making like productions, like little TV shows and, short films, stuff like that here and there. So I was like, okay, let's take this and make it a family-friendly only streaming platform, and then charge people to join our streaming platform. It's not live yet. They're buying up different licensing rights they're buying up rights to different things. So once they do launch, they have a bunch of things on their slate for their production, a bunch of TV shows and movies that they can release on launch day. But I think it's a dumb idea. I don't think of Chick-fil-A and like, yeah, okay, what y'all want to watch tonight for a movie? Oh man, just turn on Chick-fil-A Plus. We'll get that, and we'll watch the Reckoning of the Cows. Like, nah, when I see headlines like this, it's just a weird. I feel like who's at the top making these decisions? Like, yeah, this is gonna go. But then I think to myself, like, why are these people making this decision? Like, if I know that shit's gonna fail, somebody else there knows it's gonna fail too, but they still decide to do it. So why are they deciding to do that? And Chick-fil-A is a Christian company. Their values lie in Christianity. They're closed on Sundays. They don't do any of that stuff. So I don't know if they think they need to make up some profit, which I don't think they do, because if you know. I mean, at 6 a.m. when Chick-fil-A opens, there's already 40 cars waiting at 5:45, waiting for them to open at 6. So I don't think they have any problems in the money sector. But when you're a company like that and your board of directors and all that stuff, I don't even know if Chick-fil-A is a publicly traded company. But the people that's surrounded by that company, money got to be coming in, money got to be flowing in. So something has to change. But I don't think this is a good money move at all. They could have done something way other than streaming services. There's already 50,000 of them out there. And that's just, it doesn't scream good idea for me at all. But Hey man, if you want to check out Chick-fil-A Plus, I don't know what it's called. I don't think it's called Chick-fil-A Plus, but if you want to check out Chick-fil-A Plus, man, do your thing, man. It's they're out there for you. So to complete the contrast, Sexy Red releases a new lip gloss brand or whatever, lip balm, whatever you want to call it. It's called Northside Princess. Now this was like 2 weeks ago now, so I know a lot of you already like seen the names of them, like gonorrhea and discharge and all. There's a whole bunch of bullshit, man. It's just, I'm tired of it now. It's like, okay, I get it, and Blaze would love this take. He's not here. He'll be on another episode, but Blaze would love this take. I'm tired of that shit, bro. Like, who are you selling this to? Who are you selling this to? Who approved you to make this shit and sell it? Like, it's not funny. Like, it's not funny anymore. I don't think it was ever cute. Like, at the point where you were at a point where people just look at you like, okay, cool, she doing, like, some people may despise her, some people may love her. There's no really in the middle with her, right? So you're at a point where people are just like, all right, cool, bet, she's doing her thing, she's authentic, whatever. And people was messing with it. People was like, okay, cool, we can deal with that. But when I open up my phone and see dumb shit like that, like, oh, pussy pink flavor, gonorrhea flavor, discharge flavor, period blood. Period blood. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what is actually going on here? It's just, she is very influential at this point in her career now. And somebody should have told her, like, nah, you're going to have little girls trying to go buy this dumbass shit. And it's going to taint the way that they think. Like, me and Blaze had this conversation already on this podcast about what hip-hop is doing to the culture. And I still personally don't think that hip-hop is doing this to the culture. It's a social media thing, and then their environmental influences around them. I personally still don't think hip hop is tarnishing the black culture. Now there's people that are from the hip hop community, i.e. Sexy Red, that transcend the music and start going into different avenues, and that influences the people that they already have a following from. Now that's different from saying hip hop directly, and the hip hop culture directly is influencing the youth in mass for it to adversely affect us in the future. That's a totally different concept. But when you're saying an influencer, which is not only hip hop people, there's white influencers, black influencers, Hispanic, you get the deal. There's many different races, ethnicities, genders of influencers that still have the same amount of responsibility when it comes to what they're serving to their audience. And the main audience in this day and age is the youth. The main audience that the Twitch streamers bring is the youth. The main audience that the YouTube video creators make is the youth. If you look at a Mr. Beast video and it has 100 million views, I don't know its analytics, but if you look at the Mr. Beast video and it has 100 million views, and you look at the analytics for that and see the demographic and the age group of it, you'll see it says probably 13 through 27, or it might have a spike at 18 to 32, because if young people make these pages and they ask if they're 18, they just say yeah. So most of the time these 18-year-olds online are actually younger, but you'll see that the main audience is the youth. So all of these influencers, where they're making their money from is the kids. They're making it from kids. Like, what adult, and mind you, there will be some, but what adult is gonna go on Sexy Red's page, see her new line, her new makeup line, lip gloss line, and say, damn, I'm gonna buy that. Oh, and it's called gonorrhea? Yeah, here goes $20 for it. They're not doing that because it's not. Now, some ill-witted women might, or men, it don't really matter. They might. But in mass, no. It's gonna be the fucking kids that look at that shit and be like, oh shit, yeah, that's different. That's authentic. Let me go get that. Like, nah, bro, we need to tighten up. Cause that shit's some bullshit. And that shit should go on the fucking shelf in fucking Timbuktu somewhere, man. That shit is some straight bullshit. But yeah, man, people they just gotta do what they do, man. So I want to talk about something about artificial intelligence, and I'm gonna discuss it, but I also want you to think about what it means for you, and do you even care or what it means for you? So the question is artificial intelligence making us lazy, right? And the only reason I bring this up is because I do a lot of media ventures. Like, I have podcasts, I do my YouTube, I'm writing a short film, I do TikTok, photography. I do a lot of stuff, and I know the benefits of artificial intelligence services like ChatGPT and Gemini, Apple Intelligence. Like, I know the benefits of all this stuff, but is it taking away from your actual productivity and the way that you think? Like, your actual I can't think of the word right now, but the opposite of lazy. Like, is it taking away from your drive to do something? And I ask this because, say I'm writing a short film, or not even a short film, say I'm writing an essay or I'm writing an email to my boss at corporate or something like that. There's plenty different, a lot of it is machine learning, but it's branded as AI, but we're just going to call it AI for the purpose of this question. A lot of models, they will proofread and change up your the way that you type your message or whatever. But eventually, like, we're in that limbo stage where it's just now coming out at a wide scale and everybody can use it. And 2 years ago, people just writing their own shit, right? So now we're at a place where it's readily available to use, but in the future, it'll really be the only thing that people use. So I don't need to learn the skill of how do I form a letter? How do I, back in school, we did the subject, the body, the header, subject, body, and the conclusion or whatever, whatever it was. But you remember when we were doing that. But now it seems like you don't need it. Like, I can just type in a nonsensical paragraph with different subject points in it and feed it to any AI tool, and it'll fix it for you completely, right? So I don't need to learn that skill because I know the computer's going to do it for me. I don't need to learn how to really spell for real because I know the computer's going to do it for me. I don't really need to know these facts of anything because I know the computer's going to do it for me. I don't need to learn how to do math because the computer's going to do it for me. Apple has a new application in the upcoming software update where you can just not take a picture, but do your math equations. And they do have some of you can take pictures of your math equation too, but you can just do math equations in in the phone, and it spits it out for you. Now I know for tests, like in school tests or whatever, like, you can't have your phones or anything around you, but that's going to be a problem because when little Timmy comes home from school and he has math homework, but little John wants to go outside and go play flag football or whatever. I don't even know if the kids go outside anymore, but they want to go play football outside. And his mom's like, oh, you got to finish your homework first before you can go outside. He's not going to take the time to sit there and learn how to do his homework. He's going to pull his little iPhone out or Android, whatever we got, take a picture of it. It's going to spit out all the answers. And he's just going to write it down and go about his day. So now in 2 months, when he has to go take his test, and they say, put your phones in this little basket and take this test. Now he's looking crazy because he doesn't know how to actually do the stuff because the artificial intelligence was doing everything for him so he can go do something else. But now he fails the test and he don't know the skill. So as we get older and as the kids get older, what all skills are being taken away, like real world skills are being taken away because artificial intelligence is here. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm with that movement. Like I like artificial intelligence. I like the use cases that you can use it for. There's so many different really valuable, productive use cases that you can use it for. Like when I'm writing a script for a YouTube video or I'm writing a short film, I'll still write out the whole thing. I'll write out the whole thing, but I'll feed it into an artificial intelligence. I'll feed it into ChatGPT 4.0, not the 3 point whatever version that was. I'll feed it into 4.0 and I'll ask it like, okay, is this concise? Is this, obviously I'll get it to proofread it because Microsoft Word used to proofread it. That's just machine learning. But I get it to proofread it. I ask it, hey, is this concise? Is this sequenced correctly? Are these facts correct? Like things of that nature. But I'm not saying, hey, write me a whole script or write me anything like I'm not doing that. Right. But these kids in the future, I mean, they're just people now are doing it, man. You go on YouTube right now, there's a bunch of stuff that's just AI written and people are just spewing it out. So, I think it is going to make a lot of people lazy, but I also think it's going to help many different people in the future when it comes to things that they just don't know. Like when you're like, I'm 27 and there's some things you just don't know, but you can still look it up. I would still fact check it behind it because there's a lot of hallucinations going on with that, but I'll still fact check it behind it. But I think it's a topic that needs to be held on a higher scale because a lot of people know it's there, but it's not really governed correctly, not by the government, but just by the powers that be behind the actual software and the actual technology. It needs to be governed better because it's kind of just freely spewing out there for everybody to just grab a hold to and don't really know what they're doing and also don't know the effects that it's taking on them in their brain. Like if they get so used to that, then they really won't have to know anything. You just, I just ask ChatGPT. Like it's a big thing, man. But this episode was real short. Hopefully we'll have a longer, not hopefully, it's really up to me, but we'll have a longer episode next week. There's just a lot of stuff going on this week, but I definitely wanted to get on here and talk to y'all. But we're gonna get into some good stuff next week, and we're gonna make sure that everybody is fed, man. We're gonna make sure that everybody is fed. We're gonna try to get Blaze on for the next episode. He should be available then, but hey, to each his own. But anyways, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, if you give this episode a like, and if you want to subscribe to the podcast channel, subscribe to the podcast channel. If you're listening in the car, man, I just appreciate it, man. I ain't gonna ask you to rate it or nothing like that. But thank you for tuning in to the Malik Scylore Podcast. This is episode 12. I have been your host, Malik Scylore, and I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good week. Have good vibes. Have good energy. Have a good rest of the year. Have a good rest of your life, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.